Tonight, I'm really excited because we're coming off a summit and there's a lot of takeaways. We're not going to be able to touch on all of them. Obviously, we were there for days, so it's impossible to go over every single thing that we took away. So each of us is going to kind of share what we thought was like the highlight of our aha moments and that sort of thing. So before we get started, really quickly, just know we're doing the Team Cup. Most of you are on a Team Cup. We have all the challenge packs basically on sale this month, which is insane. So use that to your advantage. Country Heat, if you're not promoting it, start promoting it. I know when I first started the program, I was a little, iffy about it, but it is so much fun, and it's burning the same amount of calories, if not about the same amount of calories of Insanity Max. So just crazy to think about. So get it out there. This is going to change a lot of people's lives, so don't keep it to yourself, all right? So without further ado, let's start with Jen Hayes because, again, she's got to go back with her family. She has people in town, so.
Hi, everyone. So I have 15 people in my family sitting in a restaurant right now, so I came out to the car so I can hop on because I really wanted to tell you guys, Summit was awesome. If you guys have not gotten your ticket for next year, get it because they will sell out. I know they have more tickets this year, but you don't want to get on a wait list. I highly suggest getting it as soon as possible. So I just wanted to say, I think all of us probably have different takeaways because I think depending on where you are in your journey is going to determine what spoke to you the most. And I think for me, right now, I was like gangbusters. I hit the Success Club 10 every year. I hit the Success Club 10 call on how to hit, and ever since then, it was like a jinx, and I just haven't been able to hit it since then, but whatever. So I've been struggling over the past couple of months. I started a new job last fall, and it's really been a hard transition for me. I think that's really had a lot of impact on why I've kind of slowed down a little bit. But I've had moments over the past couple months. I'm like, I suck. I don't know. Wondering, should I do this anymore? But I mean, obviously I'm going to. The bottom line is, this is what I feel like I've been called to do. So I'm going to keep going. But we all go through those, times of man, I just suck at this. And maybe I shouldn't be doing it anymore. I should just throw in the towel. So kind of going into Summit, I had come out of that just before we went to Summit. I knew Summit was going to help me so much. And I really did have a lot of takeaways that kind of pertain to that, just because I think that's what I was really searching for and yearning for when I went there and my ears perked up when they started talking about anything that was related to that. So, and I didn't write down all the coaches who said what, and so I probably should have, but one of the things that somebody said, and I'm looking at my notes here, so I'm sorry. Basically, she said, the whole discussion was about being unstoppable. And they were talking about the number one thing that you need to do, they said, is to lean in. And what they meant by that was we're all going to go through storms in this business. We're going to go through highs. We're going to go through lows, and they said people, you're going to sign up coaches are going to leave. People are going to come and go. It's never going to be perfect. You're always going to be going through on a roller coaster ride, ups and downs all the time. But they said just to lean into that because there are going to be times of momentum like what I have, and then there's going to be times of transition. And right now I feel like I'm in a transition. I feel like I'm in a team rebuilding phase. I feel like I'm in a customer rebuilding phase. Rather than let that get me down, I'm going to lean into it. I'm just going to push that much harder to get where I want to be. And then with that, they said no big business was grown with a small mind. So really using personal development to if you're struggling with something, and I know we've talked about this before, but it just makes so much sense. If you're struggling with how to be a better leader, there are so many books about how to be a better leader. If you're struggling with, if you're struggling with low self-esteem, read things that are going to lift you up, You're a Badass and books like that. I mean, and again, I've talked about this over and over again. I don't have a lot of time to read a lot of books, so I listen to a lot on Audible, which has been so awesome. I also will just pull up YouTube before I leave my house to go to work. I'll pull up a YouTube video and I'll just listen to the audio of it while I'm driving, so that I'm constantly trying to pump myself up with things that I'm needing at that time. They also talked about leading with a purpose. So whether it's with your team or in your challenge groups, but always talking about your why. and creating a vision for you, for where you want to go, where you want your team to go. And once you have that vision, you can kind of paint like your dream life and like where do you want, like we all have done vision boards at some point, I'm sure, but really then kind of figuring out, okay, like for me, I'm going to put this out there to all you guys right now because I want to be accountable with this. I'm right now, I have 11. Okay, well, I don't know how many I have for July, but I really don't think I had any. 11 elite points right now. To hit Premier, you need to have 135 elite points, and I'm going to hit Premier this year, and so I'm going for it. I sat down and did the math last night to figure out like what I needed to do, and so I'm going in overdrive. Like as of right like now, I'm doing Eric Worre's Recruit 20 in 30 days. I'm just gonna go for it because I need to add like a crap ton of coaches if I'm gonna hit Premier. So and just start building that foundation. So so anyway, action steps is kind of where I was going last night. I sat down. I'm like, okay, I'm here. I need to be here. You know, I literally did a spreadsheet. Like, what do I need to do to get where I need to go? How many success points do I need to have? What does my team need to do? So I really kind of focus and I'm trying to reverse engineer that goal so that I can hit it. And then they were talking about leaving your mark. So they said, create your own destiny, make it happen, go all in, don't settle, give back. So that would be to your team or to your customers. Raise your level of service, again, kind of same thing. And always leading with your heart and leading with a purpose. So that one was really powerful to me. That was actually in, I think it was in the first general session, that one. And then the other two main things that stuck out to me was just listening, because it's so easy. And actually, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were telling me last year at Summit, they actually walked out of Celebration because of all the big coaches that were getting recognized, and they just felt, it just made them feel bad about themselves, and they actually left Celebration. So, but I actually kind of went the opposite direction. Like, I'm sitting there, and I'm down on myself right now. I've had a crappy year compared to last year, but one of the coaches, you know, she's in the top 10. I don't remember who it was, but she signed up the same year as me in 2014, and in 2015 she was an elite top 10 coach. And so I could look at that and think to myself, oh my gosh, like I already missed the mark on that one. I'm never going to be there, you know. And like, what's it, Bonnie Angle? Okay. How am I ever going to get there? Like, but then I could look at it that way, like, oh my gosh, forget it. Like, it's pointless. Or I chose to look at it like, holy crap, she did that in a year. Like, that's what's possible with this business. Like, it can be done. It's been done. Obviously, if you put enough drive and heart and passion and hard work, like, into it, like, you can do the same thing that she did. So that was one kind of coach story that spoke to me. And then the other one was another coach, again, I can't remember who it was she's been in the business for, like, she started off, it took her 3 months to get to Emerald. It took her a year to get to Diamond. And she's a 15-star coach now, but it took her like 4 or 5 years. But she kept at it. Like, she didn't give up. She kept pushing for her goals, and she eventually hit them. So that was inspirational to me too, because it makes me feel like I'm not a piece of crap because I didn't do it in a year. You know, like it just goes to show, like, keep it up, like, keep going, keep pushing for your goals, because if you work hard enough for them, you'll get there. And so both of those stories, I hope I kind of end up somewhere in the middle of those two, but both of those stories just really spoke to me, because it could be so easy to want to give up on yourself in this business. It could be so hard, but then it could be so amazing and awesome too. So I don't know, those are kind of my big takeaways from Summit.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, those two stories, it's crazy how they're one end of the spectrum, but I think I resonate more with, I think it's Leslie Cortez was the one.
Yeah, I think it was.
That's normal, right? Like, overnight success is not normal with this business. So when you see somebody who actually put in the work and it was over time, that makes more sense, right? You don't start a business and just overnight have $1 million business. That's not life normally, you know? So, well, I know that you need to go, but let's take one more picture since we grew again. Does Jen want to get back in the picture? Maybe she's quick. All right, let's do it. Nicole, where'd you go? Here you go. Okay. Everybody, 1, 2, 3. Okay, enjoy your family. Thank you so much.
All right, love you guys. Jen and Jesse.
Love you.
to you guys later. Bye.
Who wants to be next? You want me to be next, or does somebody else want to be next? Ronnie? Okay. Go, Ronnie, go, Ronnie, go, Ronnie, go.
I didn't remember that you could unmute us if you wanted to. So I have just a couple of takeaways and then like an overall one. So the first one was from when Shalene was talking to us. I think it was the first day. And one of the things that really stood out to me was she was talking about the fact that you can reinvent your story. For me, like I've been in kind of a slump lately. I got a promotion at work, which I'm adamantly positive that it's from all the PD that I was doing with Beachbody. And it's just, I mean, I've been working like 60 and 70 hour weeks. I drive an hour each way. So I've just really been trying to figure out, like, do I work out? Do I work the business? Do I half-ass both? Like, it's just been crazy. And I was kind of like losing my story and losing like what I'm going on. And I kind of feel like that's my new story, right? Like it used to be when I was sitting in this cycle of just trying all these different weight loss things and nothing worked. I mean, well, it all worked because I'm stubborn as hell. So when I spend money on something, you bet your butt I'm going to do it. But I couldn't sustain it, right? And then I found Beachbody and I was like, well, this is amazing. And then it just kind of was, how much can I say that to somebody, right? Like I'm tired of hearing it, okay? So like the people that know me are probably like, shut up, you know? And you know, my new story is, you know what? I don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to do this, right? And I'm going to do it, right? And I don't have a lot of time, and I'm going to show people that you can do this with a little bit of effort and no time, right? Like you can start slow and you can build something. So, you know, that really spoke to me and kind of gave me like a little bit of fire back. And then Gary V, when he was speaking, I was talking to somebody about this today too. He's pretty fierce, but he was talking about, you know, having patience and, you know, slowly, incrementally, kind of like the compound effect, basically, right? If you've read that book. And, you know, I need to like, just because things have slowed down doesn't mean it's over, right? You just got to like pick yourself back up, start over, and, you know, build again. It was really hard for me to hit Emerald. When I finally did, now I have, like basically half my coaches are inactive. I don't know how long they're going to be around. And I really need to get back to that team building, you know, side of things. And I need to have patience with it. You know, I need to talk to more people and just have patience. A funny thing that he said, too, that has nothing to do with really a big takeaway, is he was talking about giving so much value for free that people are guiltily having to buy things from you. And that cracked me up. I was like, you know what? There might be something to that. He's a little bit of a wackadoo. But and then Lindsay Martin, when she was talking about, you know, her down times when she was merely just existing, you know, one of the things she said was she had this revelation where she thought to herself, you know, this isn't over until I win. She had this series of horrible crap happen to her, and she was down and depressed, and then had that moment of, you know what, that stuff happened, but this is a new day, right? What am I going to do today? Am I going to boo-hoo, or am I going to move my butt? So I just found that really inspirational. And really kind of as a summary of it, I think it was Lauren Duke and Erin Conlon. They were talking about, you know, no matter what happens, it's not over until you quit, right? So like you're failing forward and all that happy stuff, because there's kids here, I'll say, that you can, you know, read in all the PD books, but you got to apply those things, and you got to not quit. So when life happens, fine, take a day. The next day, it's time to move again, right? And so that's kind of where I am. And, you know, aside from all of that, just being there and getting to these events is like, you can watch all the replays. It is not the same. It's not the same when you walk into these venues, and whether you're feeling great about yourself or you're feeling crappy about yourself and where you are in your business, you walk in and you see all of these people, and there's people struggling like you. There's people that are thinner than you, heavier than you, you know, people that love all the things you love and people that hate all the things that you love. And it's just this huge mixing pot of just people to learn from, right? So like, it's not even about the session so much as it is about spending time with those people that you met on the internet that are now closer to you than the people that you've known since, you know, third grade, and just kind of finding inspiration in that and finding people to lean on. somebody that's not here today just lost her sister, and she was worried about going to this thing, worried about people were going to think about her. And, you know, we were talking, and it's like, you know what are you going to do from home? There's nothing you can do. The funeral and everything's set in stage, and she came and she killed it, and she's doing great in her business. And she needed that, not for a business building thing, but for an emotional thing, right? Like to keep herself moving forward. And it's not always about the business. I mean, these events they're life changing. I don't know if I'm even making sense at that point with that, if I'm articulating it right, but you know, everyone's struggling, everyone's winning at different things, and you got to get together and talk it out, and you'll find what you need, whether it's business or emotional or what. You'll find what you need at these things, and you'll find who you need, more importantly. So that's what I have.
Yeah, I get emotional thinking about it because God, you know, we had met the previous year and we sat down and she was like, let me go ahead and tell you that I'm going to probably have a roller coaster ride this week because my sister just passed away like 2 days ago. It was like yesterday. And I'm here and I'm like, you're here. I mean, like, that just speaks volumes of she got her butt there.
Yep.
But after that, and she's, you know, again, what could she do at home? And here she was around positive, uplifting people who were like there, like loving on her nonstop. But I know she got. Wow, yeah. I mean, it's amazing that.
And she and I were talking. So much of the shitty things that have happened in her life and my life and my life, they parallel. We're not on the same. We met at a Saturday. First one, I didn't know anybody. And I'm just like, you know, and she's like one of my close friends now. And we're talking about how we think that we should be together for a reason. So, and she, you know, I don't know, everybody's just awesome, but it was where we needed to be, despite everything else that's going on in our lives, you know? So, and perspective is everything, you know. I'm like, I don't know if I should go. I just totaled my car and kind of hurting. And then she's like, oh yeah, well, you know, I lost a really close family member today. I was like, oh, I'll never speak again or complain ever. Like, perspective, you know, you never know what people are going through. So, I don't know. I think I just derailed us. So.
Well, it was so amazing spending time with you and hugging you and speaking with you and bonding with you and learning with you. So I just can't wait until next year. So.
New Orleans, here we come.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited. So excited. All right, Jesse, with your non-pants on, do you?
I'm super nervous. No, well, you can see, I mean, we all have different attitudes, how we go after this. I kind of have a laid back attitude. And when you're looking for people that you want to build a team with, you have to adapt your conversation with every person you talk to. You got to adapt it to however type of person they are. You want to build a relationship with any of the coaches that you bring on. I think, well, I'm glad neither one of you guys have talked about like the challenge groups, but the first thing you want to do when you get a new coach is go over the business quick start and some of the basic things as being a coach. Why are they a coach? What is their purpose of being a coach? I mean, you're going to get the discount, you're going to get that, but I mean, people want to know that there's more to it than just being a discount coach. So you want to build a relationship from each person that comes on board with you, and you got to build a long-term relationship. You don't want it to be a relationship that after a month peters out and you don't hear from them again. I mean, I've had that issue myself, and I'm sure a lot of us have, where you're just not quite sure what your coaches are going to do. So you got to build a strong relationship right from the beginning. Go over their goals. One of the notes was make sure their first goal is it's going to cover their Shakeology for the month. So if they get enough coverage behind them, they'll cover their Shakeology, and then of course find out what their why is, whether it be their family, financial, time with the family, and stuff like that. Let's see. And then running the challenge groups. You again want to build a long-term relationship with them. I've kind of struggled with this in the past, and now I see that. I think this was the notes from the Jimmy Hayes and Chris Reed speech. I lead, we lead, you lead. So the first challenge group you build, once you sign a coach, you're going to lead the group on your own. You're going to show them kind of the gist of it, what you're supposed to be doing, just the broad idea of what it is. The second month along, you're going to ask them to help you out. So they're going to be posting, you're going to be posting. Then of course the next month they're going to be taking it over on their own in their own groups. But you want to prove, of course, you want to prove that the products work. You don't want to have somebody that comes on board and has no excitement about how the stuff works. If the coach isn't excited, none of your people are going to be excited. Nobody. I mean, it makes sense. Nobody would be excited. So you got to bring it. That's Mama. This is Mama.
What's yours?
So you have to bring a ton of excitement into it, saying this is awesome. And actually, I think Chris Reed, I think they didn't even hype up. They didn't hype up the on-demand because you're doing multiple programs. They want you to choose a program, complete the entire program to show that it works. Because if you're on the multiple program on the on-demand, turn that down. They're on the I mean, one day they're going to be like, oh, okay, I feel like doing this. This day I feel like doing the same thing again. So they want you to do a program. Choose a program and have your challengers do a program. That way, I mean, they explain it as that's your roadmap. Here's your starting line. It's say if I'm going from here to the East Coast, there's a map that's going to tell me exactly how to get to my destination. And that's what the programs are. I mean, the programs are foolproof is what I always tell people. They're basically foolproof unless you quit. So you want to show that they actually work. So choose a program. And that's one of the things they hyped is what program are you doing next, or what are you doing next? So choose a program and stick with that thing through the duration if you can. I mean, obviously something might come up, but show that a program works, and then make sure they can stick to a program as well. This one was, recruit with the goal of building a relationship and retaining your coaches for the long term. That makes sense. I mean, you want to keep your coaches around. You want them to understand what the potential is. So whether it be a car payment, house payment, if they're in it hard enough, just simple stuff like that. If they're making $50 a week or $100 a week or $200 a week, just prove that it's helping you out. And you're not doing anything really on your own. Everything is brought on by Beachbody. Everything that we need to coach people and to teach people, it's available through their site. So it says don't reinvent the wheel. So don't overstep what you have to say. You don't have to say much. Say, take a look at this, or view this, or watch this video, or take a look at this link. So you don't have to misspeak. You don't want to scare anybody away because you can't answer a question. You just want to refer them to the right bit of information to get them there. Okay, what else was I going to say? Stay in contact with your coaches. You don't want them to become ghosts for you. And I've had kind of the issue lately myself where I'm reaching out to them, but I'm not getting any response. I don't exactly know what they're looking for from the business. They're active. I mean, they're drinking it. They're doing the exercises, but they're not posting as much. So just kind of nurture those relationships with them, and just build a stronger relationship, I guess, with each of the coaches. And then make sure it's something that they can duplicate. Make sure it's something simple where they can say, shoot, I can do that myself. And that's what the eye-opener was for me. I signed up as a coach last March, or Jen signed me up as a coach for last March, just basically to drive her. I told them when I was down in Nashville, I was the driver to get to Nashville. I was going to go to the bars as much as I possibly could. I got to Nashville, and I'm like, oh, my God. I was like, shoot, I can do this. I mean, anybody can do this. You just have to get them to open their eyes. Yeah, you just have to get them to open their eyes. There's a couple of events around here in Michigan. I think the closest one might be an hour and a half. But I'm just kind of begging my crew to say, hey, let's try to get there. Because once they see a whole group full of people with the excitement of what the potential could be, I mean, they're going to do the same thing I did. I mean, I drove 500 miles to figure it out. But, I mean, the potential is right in your hometown. And I know they get my text messages, they get my comments on the comment board, but seeing it in person from 400 people in a room, and like I think, I said Leslie Cordes is the one that hosts ours, and you just see all the girls kind of just like, oh my God, if she can do it, I can do it. If she stays at home, I can stay at home. And I was telling them when we were in Nashville, you just want to make sure everyone's open-minded to it. Shoot, I lost my notes here. Oh, shoot. Just be open-minded. I know it's hard because we're all adults. I mean, people have full-time jobs, and they're not open-minded towards it. They don't really know what the potential could be until they actually do a program and say, man, I I told my team cup, but I know you guys are copied off me, so I probably shouldn't. But yeah, you waited until August 1st till you started getting people. I know what you were doing. I talked to 25 people yesterday. I talked to maybe 10 or 11-ish today. You have to talk to people. If you don't talk to people, you'll never survive. You might survive, but it's going to be painful. It's not going to be as fun as it can be. So when we were just kind of sitting around a table that one night, I added 600 friends to my friend list since last July. So you have to add people to your network. You have to take pictures of what you're doing. People might not post. People might not acknowledge what you're doing, but everyone's silently watching what you're doing, which was proof. Some of the men, because men, even for me, it's hard for me to reach out to guys. But as we were driving to Nashville, I got a text message from somebody I messaged a year ago. He said, and the text message was simply this: what are we doing? I want to start as soon as possible. So you have to put it out there. You have to let them know what you're doing. If you don't you got to get past the fact of you're taking pictures of doing an exercise. But if nobody knows what you're doing, nobody will ever approach you, ever. And I would say probably maybe half of my people that are with me have just seen a simple post or, mostly a post or a picture, and they come back maybe a couple weeks later saying, what are you doing? I want to get in on it. So without reaching out, without posting is huge. I know that comes up on every one of our calls, but they say 3 to 5 a day. You got to do 3 to 5 a day. You got to let them know what workout you're doing. You got to let them know what it is. You don't want to be of course, you definitely don't want to be a salesy, but you got to let them know what you're doing is working, what you're doing, you love it, and what you're doing can be for anybody. I mean, I don't know how many programs there are, and I've done a lot of them. So once you do get a conversation going, you figure out what their goals are. You build a relationship before you try to say, go to this link. You build a relationship before you do that. And I've gotten a lot of success in the last couple of months. So it's working. I finally figured it out. So I finally figured it out, and I think I'm going to blow you out of the water in the Team Cup this month. I think. Do you accept the challenge?
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, you have to let people know what you're doing. You got to invite them to it. Like I said, I talked to 25 people. Yeah, there was 25. I counted them this morning. I talked to 25 people yesterday. The conversations bleed in today. They're going to bleed in tomorrow. They're going to bleed into the end of the month. You got to prepare to make the time to talk to people. And if you want this to be a success, you have to talk to people. You have to almost play the desperate card. I went to Dallas. That's where the shirt came from. I went to the Dallas men's group, and I told the girls when we were in Nashville, a couple guys quit their jobs when they got home from Nashville. They got desperate. They wanted to be desperate. They posted a picture of their resignation letter. If the most desperate people are probably going to be the most successful people because you're forced to do the work. Chris Reed says, was it Chris Reed? Yeah, he didn't watch TV for 2 years. He didn't play softball. Was that Chris Reed? Somebody didn't play softball. He loves softball. Yeah. Whoever it was, they didn't watch TV for 2 years. They didn't play softball. They didn't do typical stuff. But I mean, they're making $15,000 a week right now. So it kind of becomes worth it when you can see the big picture. Don't look at the short term. Just think about the long term. Yes, you're gonna neglect some of the things you want to do. Your floor might need to be vacuumed. Your clothes might need to be folded. But if you get desperate, you're going to be successful. And I'm off work for the next 17 days. So time to get desperate in the next 17 days. I probably have a lot more because I didn't write any notes down, but all day I was thinking about it. And I know that's what's been working for me is inviting, let people know what you're doing, be excited about it. Nobody wants to do an exercise that sucks. I can tell you that. Nobody wants to do something that punishes them. And none of the new programs are punishing. They're all going to want to do it. They're all going to be excited to do it. They're all going to tell their friends about it. So the key is to get them on board, coach them from the top, like during the challenge groups, show them how exciting it is, how fun it is, and you'll build a long-term relationship with them. I think.
Yes, that was awesome. And again, yeah, I mean, I think the vital behavior of inviting and talking to people, that's probably the one that's missed the most. Yeah, it's easy to drink or shake. It's easy to work out. Well, most of the time, personal development should be easy. It's just listening or reading something. But actually being vulnerable enough to talk to people, it's easy to post too sometimes, even though you kind of feel like you're putting yourself out there. But actually having behind the scenes talking to people, and that kept saying that over and over again, you have to talk to people. Otherwise, you're missing a huge, huge piece of your business. So I love it ways.
One more thing about the challenge groups. Make sure the person takes the picture before they start the program. They said a lot of people tend to wait a week because they're kind of self-conscious about it. Force them to take the picture before they start. That way they can see the transformation at the end. Don't let them take it a week into the program. Whatever you got to do, convince them to take it before they start, because if they miss that first week, they're going to lose 2 inches. They're going to lose 7 pounds, 8 pounds. Force them to take it beforehand. That way, they're going to see the full transformation. When they look at the pictures, they might say, oh, shoot, I didn't lose that much weight. You did, but you took the picture after you started. You took the picture after a third of the thing was done. So force them to take the picture beforehand. I think that was Chris Reed and Jimmy Hayes' speech.
Yeah, call them not to go into you. I call them your goodbye photos. Instead of like your before photos, call them your goodbye photos. Is one thing they said, which I thought was really cool. To encourage them, it's a safe place in the challenge group, and to take the photos and say they're your goodbye photos.
And we had this baby with us while we were in all the seminars too, but we did what we had to do. We sucked it up. We got down there. We had the baby he was fussing. We had him in the carriers. We had him in a stroller. We did whatever we had to do to get to the training, to attend the trainings, to make sure we were not too hungover enough to attend the trainings.
Hungover.
Yeah. It was fun. It was fun. It's definitely beneficial. The local events as well. But Nashville, it was, like I said, 3 weeks into my coaching experience. If you get a hold of some coaches, try to get them to whatever event might be coming up, or I don't know, get people on calls. Don't just invite them in text. Oh, jeez. Don't just invite them through text messages. Get them on a call. If you get somebody on a call, you have way more chance of succeeding with them than if you just send a text, bunch of messages, and send them a link. So if you get them on a call, your success rate goes way up. And that same thing, the guy that messaged me when I was driving to Nashville, I told him, I was like, hey, I'm driving to Nashville right now. I was like, I'll give you a call on Sunday afternoon. I called him an hour after we got back to Michigan, and he had a baby this morning. So I'm pretty sure he's going to sign up as a coach tonight, just because I made the phone call to him. Because your voice fluctuates. You can hear the excitement of voice rather than getting it in a text message or a message through a computer. So once you do get hold of somebody, have them send you a time where you can call them, or you set up the time and say, what's your number? Can I call you at this time? Or vice, however you want to figure that out. But he said, I'll be around at 9. He wants to get it done. And he's seen some results from other people on the computer, some of his other, people on his friends list. And if people know what you're doing, they're going to eventually reach out to you. And one thing I messaged a girl yesterday, and I worked with her in the ER. I worked with her in the ER. She signed up with a coach yesterday was Sunday. She signed up Sunday, and 2 of my coaches are her best friends. I said, you're telling me? Oh, I hope they're not on this call right now. If they are, I'm calling them out. No, I don't see her. I don't see him. But 2 of my coaches are her best friends. She had no idea that they were coaches, just because they never talked about it. She knew that they drank the shake, but they never mentioned that they're coaches and what they can offer. They do the workouts. You got to invite them. You got to let people know what you're doing. You got to let people know that you want them to be with you. And I think she joined with somebody else because she did the same thing. That I assume the other person was at Summit where they're just mad messaging people, and she happened to catch her a day before I got a hold of her, and she got the bod and the country heat, so that was a big loss. And you got to let people know what you're doing. You have to. If you don't, it's going to be tough.
People don't read your mind.
Nope. Well, Jen's been kind of walking around anxiously.
Are you ready, Jen? Do you have anything?
I'm ready, but yeah, I'm just holding.
I probably stole all our information.
Ow!
Do the workouts. Make sure that they work all the way through. Make sure you go all the way through on. Okay.
Ready? All right. My takeaways are a little different, so he didn't take it because he's crazy. If I could bottle what he has and drink it, I would. So just to, like Jesse said, we went to Nashville last year for our first coach summit. I had signed Jesse up in March, and he came with, bought a new coach ticket, and little did I know that he would be so into the coaching opportunity when we left. And he was asking questions on the way home and really hit the ground running. And in the spring, actually before we had the baby, he wanted to go to the men's event, and he's like, do you care if I go? We're just going to have a baby. And I'm like, no, I don't care. You want to do this? It's you, you know? And I'm supportive. And I had kind of gone into a lull because I was struggling with being pregnant, which doesn't do well with me, and then balancing our life and everything. So he hit the ground running, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. So leading up to Summit this year, we discussed whether or not we were going to go. His foot, he had a major surgery, the baby. I had to take time off work without pay because I'd used all my time for maternity leave. So it was going to be a sacrifice, but it's something we're really, it's passionate about and want to do. And you get so much from going to Summit. I can't even explain it because and Jen kind of touched on it, and I think Ronnie did too. I was feeling down, I guess, before I went, not just in general, just, I don't know why, but going there, you're surrounded by people who have this energy that is infectious. And then the stories, the Beachbody Challenge stories, the coach stories, all of them together, you're just like, oh my gosh, this company is amazing and what they're doing for people. And it really makes you want to just try to, what Carl said, 226 million people out there struggling from obesity, and just like you want to help them. So for me, it was totally re-energizing me, getting me going again, and leading the Team Cup. It's huge, loving it. I struggle hugely with inviting, so I'm working on that. And personal development, I think, is my key to that. And Jesse's really good at it. And I'm just like, how do you just message people and ask, how do you do this? And I've been doing it for a long time, but I don't know, he's really doesn't, like he said, he just goes for it. So that's what I'm learning too. And, like I had taken a step back, and it just really re-energized me. And like I said, if many have said, if you didn't buy your tickets, we were talking, he's like, are we going? I'm like, well, we had an excuse last year with a baby and we went, so we have no excuses this year. So yes, we're going. And it's a great time.
We booked at the Royal Sonesta in case anybody wants to stay at the hotel.
But some things, I have notes on my phone. I took some notes in general. I just want to explain our situation and what it did for me. Again, it just gave me a whole new positive outlook, changed my mindset, not just in my, for coaching, but in my personal life too. I think it was huge to be surrounded by people with an unconditional love for you too, that you have only met a few times. And I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it was awesome. And you have to go to the events. You have to. And if you are committed to this, you have to go to Summit. You just have to. It's a game changer, I think. But and then so I'm just gonna go through some of the things from each day that I wrote down that I thought really hit with me. And to start out, Gary Vee was huge. I know a lot of people have said it. He was awesome. I don't know. I like his no no frills. Yeah, he just goes for it. And there was a quote he had that, and he said, "Is your work ethic mapping the bull crap coming out of your mouth?" So, and he said bull crap. He didn't swear. So, but it was true. Like, are you putting in the work that you talk, but are you really putting in the work to meet your goals that you're saying you want to meet? And then Shalene was, she had to think, know, like, trust you, help them understand in relation to your story, help them understand how dark it really is. And she made a comment about how we're all selling the same thing. What makes you different is you and your story. So I think that's huge. And I think I mentioned to Natalie when we were talking, like, a lot of the top coaches, you would never, for the most part, even know they were Beachbody coaches looking at their Facebook. So it's really just being unapologetically you, and, just sharing your story, getting it out there. Even, that said, when should I share my story? And when you figured it out, you tell it, like she said, you tell them how dark it really is. And then another thing Shalene said that I wrote down was, get testimonials. What did it do for you? Can you give me a couple of sentences on how I was able to help you out? And then you can use those. Those are huge for building your business, and, share them with people. So that
there's no luck in this game. You work. There's no luck. There is no luck.
And then from the second day, I think it was Chris Reed and Jimmy Nelson that said sometimes in life, this was the couples. I think this was a couples panel they had. Sometimes in life you got to do things you don't want to do to live the life you want to live. So there's sacrifices you make in the beginning, and they pay off exponentially in the end. So, like Jesse mentioned, the TV, they reference Netflix, different things. I know we have TV just for our kids pretty much. We don't ever watch TV. Our lives are too crazy. And then strengthening your mindset, personal development again, and your purpose is your anchor. Get into why you're doing this and let it hold you. And then I think that was about it. Again, my main thing was just get to the events, the messages, everything. It's huge. I wish I could put into words what it did for me better, but it really helped me in more ways than one. So I just highly encourage it. Do whatever you can to get there.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Yep.
I think I've cried in some way, shape, or form like 3 times during this call. I'm trying to wipe the tears away simply because, just hearing you guys and being able to spend time with you guys. And
I'm not a hugger.
Seriously, it's you cannot put it into words. So the fact that we're trying to is really, really, really hard. But spending time again with people that you met on the internet that you care about, and actually I'm like touchy-feely with everybody. I'm like, can I touch you? Because you're actually a person. I can touch you and hug you. And so that happened a lot. There was a lot of touching, and I'm sorry if we meet and I touch you and you're offended. But so anyway, I'm sorry I'm emotional, but this past week was really and truly, again, I've been to 4 summits, and it only gets more and more better. Our team grows, and we get, closer and closer, and we bond more and more, and we learn more and more. So I'm going to try to put myself together and go over a few things. I know we're kind of cutting. It's 8:46, so hang on just a few more minutes. A few things I took away. Also, really quickly, I'm going to do a screen share. In a few days, I'm guessing we will have all the workshops in the video library. So if you're in your online office and you go to video library, and then you go to training, event workshops, you're going to have all of the workshops that were like during the day. I don't know if they're going to do the night ones or not, but you can even see the 2015 is all in here, all of Summit stuff. So always feel free to go through these, like the top coaches sharing all their secrets. So know that it's going to be available to you soon. So you're going to get your own takeaways from this event. But again, there's nothing like being there. So it will be available to you soon. But really quickly, I'm going to go over a few things that you guys didn't touch on, because a lot of things you did touch on were actually things that I had taken away from it too. Number one, don't waste this opportunity. And I think I talk about this a lot. Don't waste what's in our lap. You know, we have a solution for so many different things, whether it's community, you know, having friends and, you know, connections with people, whether it's health or fitness or finances. Don't waste this opportunity and share it with everybody. You never know what somebody's prayers are, and you never know if they will be answered from you reaching out to them and talking to them and being a friend to them and loving on them, and never knowing if what we have can help them. So don't waste it. I beg you not to waste it, because it's so easy to take, you know, advantage of. We know how wonderful this is. We have to share it with other people. So let's see, leading with purpose. Get a clear vision on why you are doing this. Now, we always talk about our why, but our why evolves. I think, you know, when you first start, you have a why of, I want to cover my Shakeology, and maybe you eventually do that. So then you have to dig deeper. Why am I doing this? I want to help people. Of course you want to help people, but then you have to evolve that. What else do you want? Why are you doing this? I want to retire my husband. I want, you know, to help other people have financial stability. You know, why? Make it so strong that nothing is going to get in your way of, you know, when you have bad days or when you people are telling you no or whatever. Your why is going to be so strong that it's not going to matter when you run into these things. So that was another one. You talked about Shalene. Okay, we're not selling. Yes, we are selling, but people need to know you, get to know you, trust you, all right? And you have to tell your story, because your story is going to dab into emotion. So it's one thing, it's great to share our challenge pack sales and, you know, that we have challenge groups coming up, but people want to know you. They are following you. They want to know who you are. They want to know your story and how things have changed for you because you started this new business. They want to know how Shakeology has helped you. They want to know how fitness has changed your inside of your mind and your heart, and they want to know that. So tell that often, you know, digging into the emotion to give people hope. And that was a big one. You know, it's easy to invite people to challenges and that sort of thing, but people want to know why. You know, why are you inviting them to the challenge? How is it going to help them? Because it's helped you, or it's helped, again, like Jen said, testimonials about other people, but it's really digging into the emotion of who you are and why people want to trust you. And when they do, they're going to want to join you in this business, or they're going to want to join you in the challenge groups. Let's see, what else? And like Gary V, me really quick. The quote that I got away from him was, and it's kind of brutal and trying to take it this way, but the single reason, or the single biggest reason that majority of people will not have success is a lack of patience. And yeah, that was said, but it's not even just having a lack of patience, because even if you have patience, you have to put in the work. And I think that, like Melanie Mitri said, she's a normal person who woke up every single day early to get her stuff done, because she's a stay-at-home mom and she had kids that, you know, she had to take care of, but she did it every single day regardless. And what she said was, I was consistent every single day, no matter what. And the only difference between me and anybody else is I outworked everyone. It's all about the work. I outworked everyone. I'm like, you know what? I hear you, girl. I'm ready to outwork you. Let's do this. I'm not afraid of work. Nobody on this call is afraid of work, or you would not be on this call. So no, it's about the patience, about moving, because it's going to take time. But along the patience, don't wait for it. Work for it. That was big with her. You know, Melanie is just such a humble and mild person. She's not, you know, we put her on this pedestal, but she's just a normal person that's worked her tail off and been very, very consistent day. She said she has not missed one single day since she has started as a coach. Not one. So that's why she is top coach, 15-star in 3 business centers, and millionaire club, and you whatever. Okay, let's see what else. The last thing I think I'm going to talk about is finding your niche. And I know I'm guilty of posting a lot about Beachbody simply because I'm in love with it so much. It's so much of a part of my life. But we need to figure out other things that we love and other people can connect with you on that level. Like, there's no doubt I love wine. You might know that probably from my post. I love coffee. I like certain TV shows that I do carve out time for. So you need to figure out 3 things that define you, 3 interests and hobbies that you have, and 3 likable characteristics about you, and post about that along with your Beachbody stuff. And you can intertwine all of those things, but this is where you're going to find the people that are going to be wanting to be a part of your tribe because they relate to those things. They relate to the fact that you like wine. They relate to the fact that you like to sew. They relate to the fact that you are a mom, and you're a stay-at-home mom, or stay-at-home dad, or whatever your niche is. They're going to relate to that, and then eventually want to join you in this business because they relate to you in life, right? So that was big. And then you're going to want to think about what your dream coach looks like. Are they like you? Are they consistent? Are they whatever? So define that, and that's going to kind of go along with your niche. Other than that, I think once the videos are ready, you can go through it, and it can be your personal development for a few weeks because I'm going to go through them again. There's so much you can take away from the different workshops and stuff. And does anybody have any questions before we hang up? It's almost 9 o'clock, or anything that you took away from what we said. And Ronnie has something.
This has nothing to do with our call, but I got 2 questions today about the Beachbody On Demand pricing change. Does anyone know if someone wants to switch from the 3-month that they're on for like $39 to the yearly, if they switch and they just got billed last month, are they credited the 2 months they technically already paid for? Does that make sense? I have no idea. I was going to call Coach Relations when I had time later in the week to find out for sure, but I thought maybe somebody knew.
I would think it would start the year from when they signed up. Like if they signed up for the year today, it would be a year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that's what yeah. So I think I'm just going to look up their dates of their last billing and just be like, order this day,
Yeah.
So it's not crazy.
Anything else? All right, so sneak peek is the 8th. We decided to do it again earlier this month simply because of momentum from Summit. I mean, it's crazy momentum. There's no reason to wait till mid-month when, there's a lot of buzz out there with our opportunity and all that. So don't be afraid to invite to it. It's a non-threatening way to just plant the seed, have them join our group. We revamped it a good bit. There's a few new videos, that sort of thing. So invite. Simply, I've posted it before, but all you have to basically say is, hey, I just was wanting to reach out to you. My team is having a behind-the-scenes sneak peek, and would love to invite you because of, and tell the reason why that you think that they would enjoy the sneak peek, and then just say, do you mind if I add you? Nothing crazy. And again, I can post like a little script. You can rewrite it your own way, but invite. Let's blow this sneak peek up. Let's have like 500 people in there. It's a great time too with the cup for you guys who are in the cup. I mean, our challenge groups with sneak peek, you want as many points as you can. You see all awesome prizes, and we're going to be in LA. We're going to win the prize for the LA trip. We're going to max out on all our points and meet up with Carl. He's going to take us out to dinner. And if you heard on the National Wake Up Call, he's going to get us drunk. Did you hear that? He's like, well, I'm going to get you drunk. I'm like, did you say that on National Wake-Up Call? Oh, and sushi. Yes, he's going to take us and have sushi, which that is right up my alley. So, baby girl, we are going. That's all I got to say. All right. So I know we ran a little over tonight, but hopefully it was good to hear from, a few different people that were actually there. And if you have not, oh, that was Jessie. It says Jennifer. If you have not registered, sell things on eBay, sell challenge packs. Obviously, that's what we do. So anything you have to do to get a ticket, I promise you, is a return on investment times a bazillion. So make it happen, because I can't fathom not seeing everybody there next year and not knowing that you're there. I just can't. So, all right. If y'all don't have anything else, then going once, going twice. All right. Y'all have a great week and good luck with the cup and 21st birthday. Okay. I love you guys. Y'all have a great week.